Hi, I'm Pat and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about doing paint correction, fixing paint chips, and doing a ceramic coat on this 2007 Ford Explorer Sport Trac. Now, a little bit of history on this vehicle. This was made in October of 2006. My father was the one who ordered the truck, and once he had an incident at work where he couldn't see anymore, my stepmom drove the truck for a while, and eventually it was handed to me with 13,000 miles on it. Well, it has 180,000 miles on it right now, and it's a little bit worn for wear. I haven't been keeping up with the paint and making sure that it has been protected as much as I should. So now's the time in order to get out any type of scratches, swirls, fix paint problems, and then do a ceramic coating on the vehicle. This is the first time I'm ever doing a ceramic coating. I'm a big fan of Meguiar's products, and I've done the fast finish polymer coating, but I've never done a ceramic coat. So today I'm going to mainly use Meguiar's products, but then top everything off with Avalon King. But we're going to start on the Ford Explorer Sport Trac today, and then hopefully be able to get the other vehicles done while we can't really wander around and we're hunkering down during the worldwide epidemic. So now's the perfect time to get this kind of work done. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you have subscribed. If you haven't, go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll be posting more content about this garage and its vehicles more often on this channel. Now, I've already washed the truck and it's ready for clay bar at this point. Now, I've typically used the Meguiar's Quick Detailer with their clay, but I decided to go ahead and pick up this Griot's Garage synthetic clay, and this can be used more quickly and more often than using a normal clay bar. So I'm going to get started with claying the vehicle first. The instructions on this synthetic clay bar say that it's covered in a cleaning material, and you're supposed to use a quick detailer and the synthetic clay on your car glass first in order to remove the coating that's on top of the clay bar. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. Okay, now that I've prepared the synthetic clay bar, I'm going to use this on the larger surfaces. We got Rebecca here with the regular clay bar, and we both have our quick detailer, so we're going to go ahead and get started. At this stage, we've gone ahead and completed doing all the clay bar, and then we wiped the entire surface down after spraying it with water in order to get any residue off of the paint. So the next step will be to go ahead and mask off the areas that we don't want to get any polish on. Now, in this case, I tried to remove this plate mount, but it's held in by some interesting rivets. I'm not going to mess with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and tape it off, as well as all the other surfaces that we don't want to get any polish or wax on. Okay, we're at that stage now where we did some taping, and that is to make sure that we don't get any type of polish or compound on any of the rubber or plastic pieces. Now, I'm going to be spending a lot of time compounding this vehicle. If I was only going to do a quick polish, I may not want to go through these extra steps, but I know it's been a long time since this vehicle has ever been polished or waxed, so this is very necessary. Let's take a closer look at some of the equipment we're going to use. I'm going to be using my old standby, the Meguiar's buffer, but I also picked up this Griot's buffer. This is the 6-inch random orbital kit, and this is because I want to be able to use both at the same time, so Rebecca can use one and I can use the other. We're going to start with the compounding. Of course, we're going to use Meguiar's 110 and microfiber pads, and then we're going to step up to the 210 and these foam polishing pads. So the microfiber pads, one thing that's a key point to remember about these, to blow them out every once in a while to keep them clean. And if you don't do that, that may result in a lot of buildup of material in the pad itself. So microfiber pad requires a little bit of extra care. These don't, because they're foam. And then finally, here is the Avalon King, the Armor Shield 9 that we're going to use in order to do the ceramic coating on the truck. Looking sharp. So this was in pretty bad shape back here. A lot of swirls, a lot of scratches. And the reason is because I've been taking this thing, well, in previous years I took it to a automatic car wash that had this spinny thing that kept beating up the vehicle, and I sort of didn't care, but you know, now it's just so much better. You did a great job back here on this.
Thank you.
So what do you think of the process overall? Like actually running the buffer and doing the compound and the polish?
Oh, I like it.
So at this stage, what we've done in one day is clay bar the entire car, put on the tape to protect the plastic parts. And while Rebecca was back here working on compounding and polishing the tailgate, I compounded the roof, and that needs to be polished next. And I also polished the front hood, so that didn't need compound. Now this needed compound. This was in pretty bad shape, and this is still not the best, but I'll have to live with it. There are a few scratches in it and watermark pits and things like that. This was purchased aftermarket, so it's not the same as the factory hood. So this was already painted aftermarket. And what I also did here is, after I finished the polish, is I've gone ahead and marked off the small little spots that I want to touch up. This one stands out the most, I think. So right down here is a little paint chip, and that's pretty obvious, but the other ones are harder to see. I just noticed them because as I'm going along here buffing, I can see where there were some marks, and I definitely want to take care of them. So figure I would go ahead and mark them off so that I can go ahead and use my Dr. Colorchip and fill any of these so that I can get that done, and that'll be cured before I go ahead and do the ceramic coat. Good morning. Day number 2 here. We're going to get started. Went ahead and already put some air into the air compressor so that we can blow out the pads, no problem at all. I'm going to start up here on the top of the truck now with a piece of cardboard in here, so I didn't have to deal with taping off my sunroof, but I'm going to finish up the top here with the polish. And we could see here I have a few paint chips, so I'm going to address some of those today, as well as some of the paint chips that I identified on the front hood. And we're also going to be taking care of compounding the taillights and the headlights along the way as well. And I see I have a little bit of leftover polish here that I got to rub off, which reminds me I got to get the microfiber towels out of the dryer. So I went ahead and took care of all the microfiber towels. Of course, I have some other microfiber things in here as well, but figured I would start with a clean batch in the morning, making sure that I just gave these a good wash cycle and a good dry. And we're another day into this project. So far we've completed all the compounding and polishing, and then I went ahead and marked off where tiny little paint chips exist. So if you take a closer look here, you might be able to see there's a paint chip right there. And I left enough room between the marker and the chip so that I could actually do the paint chip correction. So there are a few of them in different places here, and they're kind of annoying because I'm not sure what is causing some of this. I mean, I'm finding paint chips, you know, in here. So it's kind of weird, and I will definitely want to take care of that today. So what I'm using is Dr. Colorchip, and there's a link in the description below because I used it on the i8. Now the i8's under wraps right now simply because I'm getting a lot of dust in the air as I'm doing this compounding and polishing. But this is a specific color for Orange Frost, which is NL, for this 2007 Ford Explorer Sport Trac. So I'm going to go through the process of finding what I can do to best fill these chips. And if you've seen the other video, or if you should check it out, it's in the description. There are different ways of performing a paint chip fill. This is unique because you can pour this into the hole and then squeegee it out and then wipe off the excess, and it's like it didn't exist. So I may be able to do that in a lot of cases for the Ford Explorer, especially on the surfaces that are pretty much at the top. But when I get into areas like this, you know, this may require a little bit of touch-up just dabbing on there. So I do have a few cases where I need to test out what the proper way is. So we'll take you along for the ride and show you the process. So here's a close-up. We got the paint chip right here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber towel and just make sure the area is really clean. So when I ordered a Dr. Colorchip, it came in this container as a flip top on it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it onto a squeegee. It came with a rubber squeegee that looks like this, and I'm going to take this squeegee and I'm going to smear it up into this chip. And then after I'm done smearing it up through there, I wait for it to start to dry, and then I go over it with something called Seal Act. Now, Seal Act is their proprietary mixture of, I believe it will remove a little bit of paint, but specifically their paint, so this won't work with other paints. So this is some type of a thinner, and this does have to be shaken because it will start to separate the solution inside this bottle. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this squeegee and I'm going to put a drop of paint right on it. There we go. And now I'm just going to take that and smear it up over the chip. And I want to make sure that this doesn't have any tack to it. Once it doesn't have any tack to it, I can go ahead and put my Seal Act on a lint-free cloth that comes from the company. And a few drops of this. And then I'm going to use enough force, but not a whole lot of force, to let this do its magic while at the same time reducing any type of paint that's on the surface. So I'm just going to go over the high part right here. And I should probably just take this off of here, make my life a little bit easier since I know where the chip is at. All right. The kit also comes with this microfiber towel. I just wipe it down and the chip is filled. Can't even tell that it's there anymore. Now I did get a little extra paint down in here when I was starting to pour this down. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that up and take care of any of that. I'm happy with the results. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the truck and see how this turns out. So a week has gone by since we started working on this Ford Explorer Sport Trac. Yes, it took about a week because not only was the paint correction very labor intensive, but we both have full-time jobs. We've been working from home during the day and then at night been spending a few hours per night working on the vehicle. So it's taken a lot of hours to get it to this point where it's looking pristine. So our next step is going to be to go ahead and install the ceramic coating on this Ford Explorer Sport Trac, as well as touch up the black trim by using that black stuff. So I'm going to end the video now, and in the link in the description below I will have the other videos that cover the Avalon King ceramic coating as well as using that black stuff, because I want to do a separate review on those products. So thanks for watching this video. I know that if you've come here for i8 content, this is different, but this is one of my daily vehicles that I've used for many, many years, and it required a lot of work, and I figured it's always best to just turn the camera on and provide a little bit of entertainment and advice for how I take care of my vehicles. So thanks for watching this, and happy motoring.